Welcome to Data Visualization with Matplotlib. Today, we are going to take you from creating basic, quick plots to designing professional, publication-quality figures. If you are working with Python and data science, you are in the right place. My goal is to not just show you the syntax, but to help you understand the logic behind the library so you can build anything you can imagine. Let's dive in. Here's our roadmap for this session. We'll start with a brief introduction to what Matplotlib actually is. Then we'll tackle the most important concept that confuses beginners, the difference between the figure and the axes. Once we have that structure down, we'll move into basic plotting, cover the most common chart types like bars and histograms, and finally, we will look at advanced layouts using subplots. By the end, you'll have a complete toolkit at your disposal. So, what exactly is Matplotlib? It is the foundational library for 2D data visualization in Python. It's built on top of NumPy arrays and is designed to work seamlessly with the broader SciPy ecosystem. You might hear about other libraries like Seaborn or Plotly, but Matplotlib is the engine under the hood of many of them. Its superpower is its capability. It gives you total control to generate figures that are precise enough for scientific publications. To get started, you simply need to run the command pip install matplotlib in your terminal. This is the most critical slide in the entire course. To master Matplotlib, you must understand its object hierarchy. Think of it this way. We have two main objects. First, there's the figure. This is your overall container. Imagine it as the blank canvas or the window itself. It holds everything. Inside that, we have the axes. This is what we visually think of as the plot. It contains your x and y axis, your lines, your bars, and your labels. Here's the analogy I want you to remember. The figure is the canvas, and the axes is the painting on that canvas. You can have multiple paintings or axes on a single canvas or figure. Keeping this distinction clear is the secret to avoiding errors. When you look at tutorials online, you'll see two different ways to write code. First, there's the pyplot style. This is quick and simple. You just type plt.plot and it works. It's great for quick interactive scripts, but it can get messy for complex figures. Then there's the object-oriented style. This is what we recommend for professional work. Here, you explicitly create your objects first. Notice the code, fig, ax equals plt.subplots. By creating the fig and ax variables explicitly, you have full control over every element. We will focus on this professional approach today. Let's write our first script. We're going to plot a mathematical function, a sine wave. First, we prepare the data using NumPy. We create a variable x using np.linspace 0, 10, 100. This generates 100 evenly spaced points between 0 and 10. Then we calculate y, which equals np.sine of x. Next, we create our objects, fig, ax equals plt.subplots. Finally, we plot the data onto our axes, ax.plot of x and y. We also add a label, sine wave, and set the color to blue. Finish with plt.show, and there you have it, your first professional object-oriented plot. Let's write our first script. We're going to plot a mathematical function, a sine wave. First, we prepare the data using NumPy. We create a variable x using np.linspace 0, 10, 100. This generates 100 evenly spaced points between 0 and 10. Then we calculate y, which equals np.sine of x. Next, we create our objects, fig, ax equals plt.subplots. Finally, we plot the data onto our axes, ax.plot of x and y. We also add a label, sine wave, and set the color to blue. Finish with plt.show, and there you have it, your first professional object-oriented plot. Now we can customize our plot. Because we are using the object-oriented approach, we use setter methods on our AX object. To add a title, we use ax.set_title. For the axis labels, it's ax.set_x label and ax.set_y label. We can even zoom in on specific data by setting limits using ax.set_xlim. Finally, remember that label we added in the previous slide? To make it appear, we must call ax.legend. Now your figure is ready to be shared. Let's move on to common chart types. First up, bar charts. These are perfect for comparing categorical data. Here we have a list of programming languages and a list of student counts. To draw this, we use the method ax.bar. We pass in our categories and our values. I've set the color to green here. Notice how ax.set_y label helps us understand that the height represents the number of students. It's clean and effective. Next, we have histograms. These are used to visualize the distribution of a dataset, essentially how frequent different values are. In this example, we generate some fake student grade data using a normal distribution with np.random.normal. To plot it, we use ax.hist. A key parameter here is bins. By setting bins equals 30, we divide our data into 30 intervals. This reveals the shape of the data, in this case, a classic bell curve showing that most students scored around the average. What if we want to see how two different variables relate to each other? For that, we use scatter plots. Here we have grades range on one axis and scores on the other. We want to see if they correlate. We use the method ax.scatter. I've styled these points to be red by setting color equals red and shaped them as circles using marker equals O. As you can see from the pattern, as study time increases, the scores go up. This is a quick way to spot correlations. Finally, let's look at advanced layouts. Often you want to compare two plots side by side. We use the plt.subplots function again, but this time we give it arguments 1, 2. This tells Matplotlib we want a grid with 1 row and 2 columns. This returns two axes objects, which I've named ax1 and ax2. On ax1, I plot x squared. On ax2, I plot the square root of x using np.sqrt. This is powerful because you can manage multiple visualizations within a single figure cleanly and professionally. To wrap up, here are the key takeaways to remember. First, always start by importing matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. Second, embrace the object-oriented style. Using Fig and AX gives you the control you need. Third, explore the variety. Whether it's bars, scatters, or histograms, the logic is always the same. Create the axes, then call the plot method. And finally, never forget to customize. Titles and labels are what turn data into a story. Thank you for your attention. Keep exploring and enjoy your Python journey.